quite a long time since I've heard a school bus go by. Good morning from the Mitt. And for those of you who don't know, that's shorthand for Michigan because we are a Mitt. And right now Matt and I are over here at his mother's house near Grand Rapids. We've had a wonderful, short, but pleasant stay here visiting family. Of course, we would have loved to have a get together and see all of our followers that live in the area. We know there's a lot of you here. And back in January, when we thought we were going to be heading here in June, we're of course going to have like a couple of them, so we got to meet every single one of you, but life is not like it was 10 months ago, so unfortunately we've put an end to the get-togethers for right now. Just kept this visit about family, and hopefully we'll be back here in a year or so and things will be different, and then we can see all of you because we're really looking forward to it. Got a nice fall color change going on, and Matt and I have had the chance to get out and see a few of the sites that are kind of like iconic to the area. Went downtown to see all of the high-rises, and of course made it out to Grand Haven to see the lighthouse, which was an incredibly breezy day. Didn't spend much time out there. The waves were just rolling in. But this does begin our actual boat search as we head across the United States looking for the spot that we're going to do our catamaran build in, starting in like 6 or 8 weeks, which is actually pretty scary to think about that it's coming up that fast. And we need to have a port for the company to send the crates in within a month, so we need to get our honeys moving and find that build spot. So our timeline since we got back to the United States, we stayed with my parents for a few weeks just outside of Phoenix, Arizona. Hot desert heat, and very thankful they had a pool for us to relax in. And then the plan had been to come directly to Michigan and then start our search down the East Coast and the Gulf Coast of the United States. But about an hour outside of Phoenix, Matt and I got a little bit waylaid. Can you see my breath out here? Frost this morning. Glad we're getting south. Back to my point though, back to the story I was trying to tell. We left Arizona with the plan to head directly to Grand Rapids. We're going to do 2 overnights along the way, kind of stopping in Texas and I think Iowa before arriving here in Grand Rapids. And we're just outside of Phoenix, and Matt kind of asked me, and he's like, you know, if we take a different route, we could go through Colorado, and then asked if I'd ever seen the Rocky Mountains, which I had not. So of course we had to take a detour. We traveled through Utah, which gave us the opportunity to go through Bryce Canyon National Park, which is just amazing. It's one of those things where you stand there awe-inspired. Matt had never been there. I had only seen it through photos. The next day we got the chance to go through Arches National Park. So we spent half of our day there driving around and seeing all the beautiful sights before making our way to Frisco, Colorado, where we had set ourselves up to camp in the Chrysler Pacifica for about 5 nights there, but it was just an amazing experience. We were able to grab a campsite right on the Dillon Reservoir. There's Rocky Mountains surrounding us. The nights did get a little chilly, just above freezing, but we were okay with tons of blankets and sleeping bags. But that did allow us to spend, I think, 4 or 5 full days there, just taking different hikes. We were near kind of Aspen and Breckenridge, so we'd go through all of the pine trees and we'd just see these magnificent waterfalls and mountains as far as the eye could see. So definitely one of the best detours we've taken in our life. And of course it gave us the chance to see a little bit more of our home country, especially kind of right in the center, since what we've done in our boats has always been along the coastline. So that was a really great experience. Glad we got the chance to do that. And now that we've seen family here in Michigan, it is time to begin heading south. And I think we're going to start our search in North Carolina, and then work our way down through like Georgia, Florida, and then along the Gulf Coast. But yes, as you can tell, fall is definitely in full swing here. Things are getting cold. We're ready to head south, and we need to find that port. almost forgot the most important thing.
My heart screamed out for more. It's the storm inside that's breaking my heart each morning while it keeps it going. It's been driving my life.
We're Matt and Jessica. After 8 years of the nomadic lifestyle, sailing the world, refitting an aluminum boat, and then sailing the world again, we've decided to stop once more to build a brand new catamaran. We've just sold our last boat, and now we're on the hunt for the perfect build site, meeting up with friends and touring other boats along the way. Subscribe, and thanks for joining our adventure.
Game of where in the world is MJ sailing?
I think so.
What is that behind us?
What is, if you can see it, I know
Yeah.
that it's a little blown out right
Yeah.
now, but we're not in Morehead City, North Carolina, and although that is where our boat site search is beginning, that's not the start of our trip. We're actually in Annapolis, Maryland right now, because we are visiting our friends Jeff and Cam, and what's kind of happening is we planned to be here right now anyway.
Run over my car? Yep.
Get run over, because the 2020 Annapolis Boat Show should be happening this weekend. So regardless of where we were in the world, we were gonna be here.
Yeah.
So, and we made,
Wah, wah.
yeah,
Yep.
we made that promise to them that we would be here. We have been talking to them for quite some time now online, and we really wanted to meet face to face. So of course, even though the show isn't happening, we're driving from Michigan down the coast, and so we were going to
Good opportunity to
hop
stop
in.
and so hang out for a couple of days and then kind of head out.
They have this great apartment in Eastport, which is right next to historical Annapolis, just across the bridge.
Yeah, pretty
So,
incredible location. It has hosted other notable names like Delos and
Tula's, Calico Skies, Ruby Rose. I mean, anytime we step outside the door, there's this amazing historic town next to us, and it's just beautiful fall weather. So we're really excited to spend a few days here, hang out with them, and then just see bits of Annapolis before we actually begin our boat site search.
hurriedly begin our boat site.
Yeah, we're a little behind schedule,
yep.
so
Calendar is going.
as much as we'd
yep.
love to like spend a month here, it's going to be a shorter trip. Matt has been a busy boy on the phone today. I mean, not like really, he's made about 3 phone calls, but our host, Jeff, is friends with someone who runs the Kentmorr Marina, which is on the east side of the Bay Bridge. Kind of told him what we were up to, what we're looking for as an area to build the catamaran. And it sounds like they do have space that they could accommodate us, so we're about to hop in the car now and drive over to check it out. But when we were talking to Cameron, Jeff's wife, I think she's just enamored in that area in general. She's saying, you know, like as soon as you get off the bridge on the other side, it's like farmland, it's like completely different pace of life. So even just seeing that is cool, but there's a lead and we're gonna go check it out.
Electric are these two, but that's just for basically just for the initial part of the build for the first couple of months. This is a 30 by 40.
I'm not sure.
I think this is 30 wide. I have to do the math.
Because he's coming out soon.
Is he really? What do you think winter temperatures, again, we're not in this area, what do you think winter temperatures in this would be?
Well, it depends when you would move in.
It's not like a ready heater. A ready heater puts
Right.
too much on the
Right.
finish type of thing.
As you can tell, it's all.
Oh my god.
Matt is like a kid in a candy store right now.
Yes. Did we lock it?
Yeah, I think you
Oh, I would be careful of the wasp flying around your head.
Oh, is there?
Couple, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're all from up there. They're not inside.
Ah.
Yeah, you can kind of see them up at the chairs there.
Are you
but-
sure it's locked?
It's not sliding.
From what we could tell so far, Pete had the perfect setup for us to build the catamaran in the form of a paint tent. But that wasn't all. When he asked what our living situation would be, and we told him we hadn't figured it out yet, he offered us a tempting option. He'd soon be taking possession of a 1980s 35-foot Viking sport fishing boat. And if we wanted to spend some of our time cleaning it up and eventually getting it into a condition ready to sell, we could live aboard it at a slip in the marina for the duration of our build.
Like brand new.
Can you imagine this?
This is beautiful.
This is very nice.
Yep.
That will be proven for living on.
We'll figure out something for that.
What do you think?
I think it's all around better than anything we could have ever dreamed of.
It's all Jeff.
Can you believe that this could be possible?
I can't even walk a straight line right now.
I know. Like, day one, not even, we weren't,
This wasn't
wasn't-
this wasn't even an option for us.
no, we had no idea.
So my first thoughts were, okay, Annapolis is going to be too expensive. It's just not going to be a good option for us. It's probably one of the prettiest places just about anywhere. So it'd be wonderful to just live here. But we thought, okay, it's too close to DC. It's just, there's no way
Is
we're gonna
it,
be
like,
able
we would
afford
love to make it work,
Do
but it probably couldn't work for
Nope,
us.
nope. And then we get the phone call of, hey, talk to this guy. He might have a spot for you. We thought it was going to be outside and we would have to build a structure.
Yep, just
and all that
kind of
stuff.
like a flat area like that.
Yep, which would be absolutely awesome.
But instead we're presented with this,
Yes.
like, what we're gonna find out now how exactly big it is, but probably at least 40-foot shed. That's like 30 feet wide.
Blows my mind.
And it's got electricity and we think heat.
It's got heat, so we could get.
And fans for summertime and lights
How does this happen?
as well. Lights all over.
What have we done in a past life to deserve this kind of?
I don't even know. All right, let's quick find out how
Oh
long
my
this
gosh! I
thing
guess we're
is.
gonna measure it out just to make sure. Regardless, we can.
Almost to the door.
So here's 20 feet right here.
Okay, I'll come to that spot.
Yep, come on, stop. So there's another 20 feet.
Okay.
So 50 it looks like.
Wow. So it would absolutely fit inside here. Is this about...
That's about it.
Okay, is that
yeah,
like-
So it's another 50 feet. Let's check the width. It looks like it's 30 feet wide.
Okay. Speechless.
25.
25 feet.
Yep.
So it'd like just
So we
slide
would
out.
have- well,
Oh, but like once we get the lift.
to put the side panels and stuff on. So we are going to have to 23. We basically have a foot on either side.
Okay. So that's how much space we'd have on each side of the boat.
Yep.
That is a little tight.
How do you not make it work though?
I know. You've got to make it work. I don't know what just happened, but I think not only did we find a build site, but a spot to live during the build. We'll get into it more later once all the details get finessed out, but welcome
100%
to our new
speechless.
home,
Yeah,
we think.
This is it.
Welcome to the build site where Elements 2 or whatever she's gonna be gets constructed.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't. I don't even know how to show how excited I am.
I'm waiting for it to sink in.
Yeah, this is way overwhelming. It's like when we sold Elements. Just things seem to be falling into place.
Okay, but now I gotta go take Jeff out for a beer because he got his connection and like he deserves $1 million reward for this, so. All right. And as we walk to the car to leave for the afternoon, still can't believe that big structure in front of us is where the boat is going to get built. First stop, first stop of the trip. I need a glass of wine. And not because I'm bummed, because I'm so happy. It has now been 1 day since we went to go out and see Kentmorr Marina over on Kent Island, and we're back at the apartment now that our friends Jeff and Cam are letting us stay at, which is again very kind of them. But now is when we need to like really dive into the process of what it's going to be able to take to start the build here. There's lots of forms to fill out, people to talk to, insurance to get. So Matt is hanging out in like the kitchen area here, and yeah. So this is where the fun part begins before we can even get our hands on any of the components for the build.
We're starting to further develop our list of kind of sequence and the order of things and how we need to proceed from here. Number one priority to make sure that we can secure the site and make sure that the owner's covered and we're covered is to get boat builders insurance. That's going to cover us, like I said, if we sent a 10-ton fire and all of a sudden it burns a boat next to it or whatever, covers the tent obviously as well.
We'll try not to make that happen.
We'll try not to make that happen. But we also want to make sure that we have coverage because the components, those modules, it's a huge asset for us. So I mean, it's a big part of our budget are those components. If they were to go up in flames, we would be absolutely done financially. So very important, make sure we get coverage on that. So I've sent out a few feelers, been sending out different emails to different places to see what we can do to make that happen. So we sent out the quotes earlier this morning for the insurance to make sure that we get that builder's insurance. That is, like I said, the priority. Once we get that handled, we can then sign the lease for the building, that tent, and for the site itself. So definitely the most important step for us. But in the meantime, we've of course had some time to kill, and we need to get these balls rolling. So what we have done is we've submitted application for Maryland for new LLC, so a new business, and we will be calling ourselves Elemental Yachts is going to be the name. Get that handled, then what we can do is we can put in an application to the U.S. Coast Guard for a new manufacturer's identification code. And what that's going to do is that gives us an actual hull identification number. Instead of doing a state issued kind of a home built amateur hull identification number, which puts red flags up to insurance companies typically, and it's a little bit more difficult for resale value type of thing. This would give us an actual manufacturer's hull. So the way that in the U.S. the way it works is the U.S. Coast Guard does issue these hull identification numbers, this setup. Anybody can apply for it. So it's not like you have to have some quota you have to meet, that you have to be this big manufacturer or anything like that. All you have to do is you apply, you say what your business name is, what the boat's business name is going to be. You have to have a physical address and tell what length of boats you're going to build. And that's pretty much the step. So it's very easy, totally legal way of doing it to be able to get that hull identification number, which is going to help us again in insurance when it comes time to get actually insuring the hull when we're going to sail away, and of course resale value, because it takes away some of that stigma of being a component boat or home built boat. Even though the hulls are getting produced by professionals, we're going to be fitting it out. This does help eliminate some of that stigma in their minds. So I think it's a smart way to go. We'll let you know how it works out. Sent in the applications today, so it's been a pretty successful day. And it should just take a couple of days and we'll get the news back.
Give me your freedom. Whoa, yeah, to pieces. Yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium. Life is so easy. Whoa, you love me to pieces. Yeah, I need it. Want your